This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Good afternoon, Mike, and happy Monday and happy transfer portal day and day after. Bunch of rage for the football playoff. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm just sitting here wondering if KJ, if and when, I think it will, but when KJ's name is going to pop up there, because then, things start changing. Look, all the hiring of Petrino, now you have an offensive line coach, and obviously he didn't set anybody on fire. The people that are mad are still mad because they say Baylor's offensive statistics were about the same as Arkansas, and they don't look in the past what his reputation is. But I was told, I'm talking to a guy 10 days ago, it was before Petrino was hired, and he told me that he thought Mateos would be Arkansas's next O-line coach. And I just kind of blew it off, like, what? But he claimed that they both had connections to him. I know what Pittman's connections. I don't know what Petrino is, but people that think that this was Pittman's decision and he just overruled what I've been told is they both were on board with this hire. So you got the two changes that some of the people wanted. If you're going to keep Sam Pittman, you got to do this, you got to do that. So those two things are in place. But now the real part starts, because you got to bring in a transfer quarterback. You got to get some linemen. You probably need a couple of receivers. So all that starts now.
Does it feel like with this move with Petrino and what we're doing is that it's a 3-year window at least? It's not just a one and done. You're going to give him a couple years to hit the portal and kind of build something up?
Gee, I don't know. I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, you got all these people that think that it was a setup from the beginning, that Petrino's going to come in and be the head coach next year. I don't think that's the case. I think it's still problematic to clear him as the head coach. It was easier to bring him back as a coordinator. I think it all boils down to if they improve. I think if they improve, then yes, everything moves forward. And I will say this, because I know some people that know Petrino. I've talked to those people over the years. They were telling me right after he was fired that he immediately realized he made a mistake, that he regretted it, he was remorseful. And that from that moment, and you saw how he reacted to all that, both at the Little Rock Touchdown Club and in the press conference the other day. And what they tell me is he is on fire, absolutely on fire, with a desire to turn this offense around and to make up for what he did. And he really likes living here, and he's a Razorback, and he's bleeding Razorback red. They tell you all this good stuff, and so it sounds good. I hope it's all true.
Well, I guess that means I'd expect to start seeing some, talented offensive players coming in from the portal to play for Bobby Petrino. We've only known about the guys that are going out, and that
sure.
that pretty much goes for just about everybody in college football. But sooner or later, there'll be a trickle of players coming in. And look, you could tell, I guess, maybe I shouldn't look at it this way because, Cody Schrader is probably going to win the Burlsworth Trophy today. But, a couple of Division II receivers come in, and I guess I'd be surprised if you're looking at Division II receivers and Division II players coming in to play for Petrino. I guess I just expect a faster, quicker kind of an athlete that wants to come in and play for him. And, in the next 45 days, maybe in the next 2 weeks, we ought to have a sense of that.
Yeah, he kind of had a mixed reputation as a recruiter, as a head coach. There's no question that he picked up some good players over the years, but there were people that always said that his personality turned some recruits off, but yet I've been told he doesn't have that personality, and he could be he could turn you off in a heartbeat if he was in the wrong mood. And his recruiting had dropped off, even if he didn't get fired in 2012. It had dropped off a little bit. So I'm curious to see if the name Bobby Petrino interests people in the portal. What kind of effect does that have on a quarterback in the portal, of receivers in the portal? It should, but until you see it, you don't know.
Mike, you got a basketball game up on the hill tonight. Furman's coming in, and we know just the atmosphere that was up there against Duke. What do you want to see out of this team? I want to see them be consistent and be able to build on that. But what are you looking for this team against Furman tonight?
And, we're only 8 games into the season, but you kind of get a sense of the personality of this team, at least right now. And what I see is a team that if you fill that arena up and you put a big opponent in there, they'll play like crazy. If it's not a big-name opponent and the arena is not full, maybe they're not as bought in. So the thing you have to worry about tonight is, do they overlook Furman? I hope not. But you can't. You go back and look at that UNC Greensboro game and just look at the way they played against Duke, and you can just see an obvious difference. I mean, they beat Duke without their top scorer. So, can he light a fire under them tonight? And I get it. I mean, I'm not stupid. You can't tell players to just go out and go crazy every night. It wouldn't even be good. They'd run out of gas. But you got to come up with this taking care of business mentality, where maybe you're not on fire to win the game, but you're not just lazy on defense like they were in that Greensboro game where they're just getting beat down the floor.
That's what makes me nervous, is that if there's a way to lose a game, it's effort-wise defensively. But it's like a trust and must kind of a thing. You play lazy defensively with Muss as the coach, well, you're going to lose playing time. And I would expect that there are guys, ready to give that kind of effort. But that's the thing that makes me nervous, is that I would hope that the Greensboro loss is just like a wake-up call. Losses to North Carolina and Memphis on a neutral site, I don't think have to do with.
Those are good teams, though, too.
Yeah, that's right. Those are good teams. That's a different thing. You cannot. They're in a position now where I don't think you can lose any more out of conference games. The Oklahoma game is a different situation, but it's like, but they've been good for one loss every once in a while. One in North Little Rock or something. Who was at Hofstra. You can't lose those games now.
Right, I agree. And there are some things that still confuse me. I can't figure Mekhi Mitchell out. There are nights when he looks like he's asleep or he's confused, and then there are other nights when he looks really good, and that's really important to them. Especially, you don't know what's going to happen with Jalen Graham. I don't know if this is going to be a thing all year long where some games he's okay and then he has back spasms again and he's out. But when Mitchell's not playing well and Jalen Graham is out, that changes what Trevin Brazile does. He has to almost become like a 4 or a 5 when he's really an athletic 3. And when he's not allowed to be that, it changes what he does offensively a lot. So these are just little things that, and I'm still not sure about, Ellis. He's their point guard. And thank goodness you got a true freshman in there who's playing his butt off right now, but you need 2. So Ellis, he got to be consistent. And there's a few things that are still unsettled right now. But what we obviously all know is that come March, but Musselman always has these guys ready to go.
Mike, you called it a few weeks ago. You said Alabama over Georgia in the SEC championship game, and we knew somebody was going to get left out. We didn't know how it was going to unfold. Do you think they got it right? Would you change anything with this Final Four in the matchups?
Now you're going to play into my prejudice against Texas, because I would have left them out, and I know people say you're crazy. Look, they beat Alabama when Alabama had quarterback problems. They would not beat them now. I think if you look at Texas' schedule, there were games that they almost lost. The teams the game shouldn't have been close. So, and yet I understand the thing with Florida State too. I'm sorry that the guy got hurt, but if the committee is sitting there picking the best teams, then they got left out. Although, again, I probably would have left Texas out. But here's the thing. The ACC has nobody to blame from themselves, because that commissioner voted against making it a 12-team playoff this year. Mm-hmm. So that's the real issue. There should be 12 teams. I mean, the FCS has 20 teams. If they can do it, why can't BCS have 12? And, of course, we will, but it's just taking too long to get there.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.